At MMA events, we often get a dose of phenomenal BJJ displays and finishes, such as triangles, armbars, chokes, and kimuras. However, there are submissions with a high percentage of success, but their occurrence is rare, and that's why we'll cover them in our video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Zabit Magomedsharipov is a Dagestani sensation who was supposed to take the UFC by storm. The world, European, and Russian Sanda champion excelled in stand-up with his unusual ninja style like no other Dagestani so far. But Zabit, in addition to superb striking, is skilled to finish the fight on the ground with the rarest submissions ever seen. Thus, in the fight against Brandon Davis, he showed us an unusual knee bar, known as the banana split knee bar, which forced the opponent to surrender. Having your opponent's back is a special kind of dominance because that position allows for many other threats. The shortest and easiest way to victory from that position is the rear naked choke. However, if you have an opponent who defends chokes well, then you should decide to neutralize another part of the body, which in this case is an attack on the leg. It can be done from several positions, but Zabit decided to do it from the opponent's back. A banana split knee bar is a groin stretch that forces the opponent to do a split to the limit where the knee of the caught leg and groin are in danger. With one of your legs, you lock one leg of the opponent, and with the other, you block the other and try to bring it closer to his shoulder. All you need to finish is to extend their locked leg in the opposite direction. The reason this submission is rare is that many fighters don't dare to try it, and that's because they mostly aim for the neck because of the higher finish probability. On the other hand, the reason why the submission is functional in the cage is that not all athletes are maximally flexible. Of course, there are some this move would not work on, but Zabit showed Brandon Davis is not one of them. Demetrious Johnson is a lifelong wrestler with the perfect technique when it comes to taking an opponent to the ground. What makes him especially dangerous on the ground is his BJJ ability to land various types of submissions in a slick and quick manner. Just like that, Mighty Mouse made his 11th flyweight title defense in his dominant reign when he finished Ray Borg with a move that was crowned submission of the year. Following the 5th round of the title match, DJ won via an incredible armbar. True, the armbar is not that rare, but what distinguishes this from the others is Johnson's skill in combining wrestling to bring the opponent to the floor, and BJJ's skill that allowed him to finish him in an instant. As we said, Zabit's knee bar having your opponent's back opens up many possibilities, one of which is a suplex that you can use to brutally ground your opponent. Holding your opponent's hips as his center of gravity allows you to direct him wherever you want, which in the case of a suplex is throwing him over your back. And all you have to do is disconnect him from the ground and throw him. Demetrious, being imaginative with his moves as always, after realized what was going on. But when he came to his senses, it was too late, because Mighty Mouse submissions are tight and without any room for an exit. His entire career can serve as a textbook of grappling skills for all new generations. The Haitian-American MMA fighter is known for his heavy hands, but despite that, he managed to win 8 times in the UFC octagon with his submission skills, which he relies on more and more. Ovince Preux has excelled 4 times so far, showing his mastery in performing the Von Flue choke as an easy and quick way to victory. Also known as the shoulder choke, it was invented by MMA fighter Jason Von Flue. This choke works on the following principle: a common situation in grappling that the opponent has your head locked in his hands. That's where he feels safe, but actually thinks he's safe, which is the charm of this submission. What you must avoid is to be in the opponent's guard with a locked head, because you have a serious chance of being finished with the guillotine. So prefer to be in the side control position and do not worry that your head is trapped. And here's why. The hand guarding the opponent's head should go as deep as possible under his back. Then connect the other hand to join the palms and provide a firm grip under the opponent's shoulder. All you have to do is press your chest up and rise onto your toes, moving in the direction of his head. When you've reached an adequate position where this submission works, just drive your shoulder into the opponent's throat and expect a tap or sleep. In most cases, you can expect a verbal tap because, during a tight Von Flue choke, both hands of the opponent will be trapped under the pressure of your chest, making it impossible for him to tap. Try this submission next time in training, and see the surprise on the face of your partner who thought he had you in a tight headlock. Russian MMA fighter and veteran of the sport with over 50 matches, Alexey Oleinik, was nicknamed the Boa Constrictor for a reason. Out of 61 victories, Alexey recorded as many as 48 submissions. and at the age of 46, he is still active and has 100 ways to choke you out. What connects Oleinik to today's topic is that he is the first fighter to successfully use the Ezekiel choke to force his opponents to submit a match in the UFC. This choke can be applied from various positions and includes one arm behind the opponent's head and another over the opponent's neck, where with your forearm, you squeeze the neck to cut off blood flow. Of course, it is much easier to perform it when you're wearing a gi, but those who are skilled with this movement, such as Alexey, have shown that the gi is not necessary. And thanks to the rapid evolution of the sport, it's been adapted for cage fights. It can be said that the Ezekiel choke is the same as the rear naked choke. The only difference is that you're not on the opponent's back but in front. This move was named after the Brazilian judoka Ezekiel Paraguaso, who took the Sode Gramajime from the judo mat to the world of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It can also be used from full mount and the opponent's guard because let's be real, there are people whose guard is almost impossible to pass. The Ezekiel choke uses the same surprise factor as the Von Flue choke because it can be used from the bottom position when the opponent is sitting on you or in your guard. Just make sure you grab that head tight with both arms, and your opponent in the dominant position won't know what hit him. Nick Diaz is one of the top grapplers in the world who's received 13 knockouts and 8 submissions in his career of 26 victories. He showed the art of boxing techniques and examples of how to finish opponents with various submissions. Back in 2006 at the Pride 33 match against Takanori Gomi, Diaz won the hearts of new fans with an incredible Gogoplata, one of the rarest submissions ever seen that has not yet been done in the UFC octagon. For the effectiveness of this choke, you need flexibility and quick action before the opponent knows what you want to do. The opponent usually falls into a trap when they try to defend an Omoplata, arm lock, or triangle, which leaves their neck exposed. The Gogoplata works on the principle where your foot slides under the opponent's neck over their trapped arm. The depth of the trapped arm depends on the effectiveness of the position, meaning, the deeper it is, the more chance you have to finish him. To complete the choke, you need to insert the other leg behind the opponent's head and pull his head downward so you can choke him by pressuring his trapped head onto the shin. This is another submission that's much easier to do in a gi, which is the reason for its rare appearance. But Nick Diaz convinced us 15 years ago that it also works in a free fight. However, it's not so easy to perform as the fighters in the following generations failed to bless a UFC cage with this super rare submission. It's said that with stories about Frank Mir's jiu-jitsu, parents used to scare their children before bedtime. Joking aside, of all the old school BJJ guys, you will hardly find someone more effective than Frank, whose ground game was a level above the others. In 2003, in a fight against David Abbott, Mir achieved an unprecedented double submission consisting of an omoplata and a toe hold. It may look complicated, but it's just 2 normal submissions perfectly mixed by one of the best BJJ practitioners of his era. After David tried to escape from the triangle threat, Frank blocked his arm with both of his legs, and instead of going for an omoplata finish, Frank, being a leg-locking addict, decided to increase the pressure and attack Abbott's leg, which resulted in a break. This submission mixture is excellent for capturing your opponent's legs, the effectiveness of which depends on the depth of the omoplata, due to which the opponent does not have enough space to get out, because one of his entire arms is neutralized. Consequently, when the opponent's arm is trapped, it leaves you with enough space to attack one of his legs without the opponent being able to do anything about it. Thanks for staying tuned. Remember to like the video and comment which rare submission is your favorite. Stay tuned, see you soon, and beware sudden submission attempts. Peace.